So I was diagnosed with type 2 on the 31st of October 2015. And that's about it really. I mean, I was obviously quite large then. I was weighed in at 23 stone. I'd woken up one night with what I describe as all over pins and needles. My whole body was like pins and needles. So I thought I'd better go to the doctor, but I was kind of pretty sure I knew what the diagnosis was going to be. And I started Googling the week before and found the diabetes.co.uk forum and got a lot of information from there. So when I went to the doctors to get the diagnosis, I was actually quite well informed before I got there. So it gave me a great, well, it was very useful information to have. Well, as I said, it wasn't exactly unexpected. So I was kind of, I had been diagnosed with pre-diabetes 2 years before, but hadn't really been given any advice about what to do. So yeah, I wasn't surprised, but then thought I needed to do something about it, and I needed to take my life in hand. When I was diagnosed, I was given a very badly photocopied sheet with the Eat Well guide on it, and that was about it, I think. I saw the diabetes nurse, and she just said, follow this guide and take these tablets. And that was about it. That was the advice I was given by my surgery. I completely ignored their advice, threw the tablets in the bin after 3 weeks because I was tied to the toilet because it was metformin and I couldn't cope with it, either the regular or the long release, which I also had. As I'd already started reading on the forum, I started to eat low carbs. I initially cut out breakfast, so I was always doing a bit of intermittent fasting and yeah, just eating lunch and dinner with effectively meat and green vegetables. 3 years later, I now get my HbA1c at diagnosis was 87. The last one I had was 28. I've lost nearly 8 stone in weight, and I feel great. I'd say I'm a very well-controlled type 2 diabetic. I mean, yes, effectively I'm in remission because I have very low blood sugars nearly all the time, but I'm sure if I went back to eating a carb-heavy diet, I would have blood sugars through the roof again, so I'm avoiding doing that. I would describe myself as well-controlled, and that's why my profile says type 2, it doesn't say in remission. So. But that's a personal view. I was 87 when I was diagnosed, and 28 was the last one. And I'm actually due for another one, but I haven't had it done yet. But I've had, yeah, I think I've been between 28 and 29 for the last year and a half. When I went for my review last year, the nurse said, "Oh, I'm glad you've come in because looking at your HbA1c result, I thought you'd been over-medicating with insulin because your HbA1c was so low, and then I looked on your prescription and you're not on any drugs at all." And I said, "No, you're quite right, I'm not. I've done it all through low carb." And she said, "Oh, that's great." And it stopped. That's where the conversation stopped. She was not in the slightest bit interested in any further information. So I was very disappointed with that. So in fact, I was so disappointed with that, I've since joined the patient participation group, and I'm trying to kind of push the low carb message, but it's water uphill at the moment. So, but hopefully we'll see. Cut the carbs. Simple. Cut the carbs and maybe cut a meal. Cut a meal out, maybe breakfast or dinner. So yeah, get your blood sugars down, and the weight loss will, I would say, aim to get the blood sugars down and the weight loss will follow, assuming that you've got weight to lose, but the blood sugar is the most important thing. So that's what's going to kill you fastest. So my blood sugars are down into the normal range, probably slightly, in fact they're slightly below the normal end on the spectrum. And once I'd lost 8 stone, I became much more energetic, joined a gym for a brief while, and did a lot of exercise, a lot of swimming, which I like. And now I feel great. People around me have obviously remarked on the fact that I'm a lot slimmer than I used to be, and that I'm much more active. I can now walk 4 or 5 miles. I did 25,000 steps around Barcelona with my partner's 80-year-old parents about a year ago. So it was, it was brilliant. It's changed my life for the better, without a doubt.